One of my most favorite dinner parties to host is my Frocktails party. We started this tradition last year and it is time to host it once again. This week, I'm going to be wrapping up making my two-piece set for the party and sharing with you guys exactly how an event like this comes together. It's probably easier than you think to host a dinner party like this. Okay, let's do it. We're sewing! First things first, let me tell you what I am making here. I started my dress in last week's video, so if you want to get the cutting out and all that kind of stuff, you can go to last week's video. This video, I am wrapping it up, obviously, because the party is also in this video. I am making the Andy set from Swim Style Patterns. I have made this on this channel before, but this time I am making it with the long sleeves. And the spoiler is that I absolutely love how this turned out. This pattern has become a favorite for me for sure. I am making this set out of fabric that I actually picked up on a trip to Tokyo last year. Japan has such beautiful and luxurious feeling fabrics for a very reasonable price. So this is a 100% cotton that I believe was fully made in Japan. Now that you have the full scoop on what I am making here, let's go back to what I am actually hosting this week, because I think this is a party concept that not many people have heard of, and it's one that we have grown to love very, very quickly. When I say we, I mean me and my nieces and my sisters. So a Frocktails party is an event for sewists to come and show off a dress or an outfit that they have made. There are sewing guilds all across the country that put these events on, and usually they're like a ticketed event at a venue and you go and meet other sewists in your community. It was a couple years ago that I told my husband, I'm doing it. I'm going to go to the New York City Frocktails, because if you're a part of the sewing community really at all on like Instagram or social media, you know that the New York City Frocktails is a really big event in the sewing community. A lot of people fly in for it. And I really wanted to do that. And then whenever I just started thinking about the logistics of getting to New York, buying the ticket, being alone in the city with no other sewing friends that I knew personally, it just didn't seem all that fun or that practical. So that is whenever I had the idea to actually just host a Frocktails party for myself here at my house. I knew that it would be easier logistically, and realistically it would cost less for me to host 30 people here, give them dinner, give them a fun night, than it would be for me to go to New York. So that is when and how our annual Frocktails party was born. I say this in every single hosting video that I post, but one thing I want to remind you guys again is that these events that I'm hosting are for people to come and hang out comfortably and have a really fun night. So that is why I don't pressure anyone to get on camera, and honestly why I put my camera away completely during the party outside of a few clips of setup. Last year, you guys got really mad at me for not showing all of the dresses, And I just didn't want anyone to feel like they had to be on camera. Most people don't want that. And so that will be the case again this year. I do encourage you to host this for yourself though, and be blown away by what people come up with. Even if you don't have a lot of sewing friends, a lot of people will sew for the first time or for the only time for this party. So I guess I say that to say you won't get a ton of footage of other people's dresses here, but I definitely encourage you to host this party for yourself and just see how amazingly talented and creative people can be when they are given a reason and a deadline to sew a cute outfit. Is the day before the party. Our party's on Friday, so it's Thursday. Whenever I am hosting a big event like this, I like to sit down once it's time to start preparing and just in the morning write out what needs to get done today and tomorrow, so that as I'm moving throughout my day, I know exactly what needs to get done. It's just a little bit of planning to help me just really make sure everything gets done and I can get all that I can get done today, as opposed to waiting for tomorrow. My prep days usually end up just being a lot of like cutting up produce, harvesting from the garden, and then usually assembling any kind of dough that I'm planning on doing. So I'll do my pizza dough and cut up all the toppings and all that kind of stuff. Oh, and it always includes cooking any protein. So for this, it's the sausage and the bacon that's gonna go on the pizzas.
Yellow. Yellow.
Pizza dough. Now I want to share with you guys a little bit about how a party plan like this comes together. So first things first, there were about 30 people here, I think, for dinner. And that might sound overwhelming when you think about hosting that many people, but I have hosted enough to really take the overwhelm out of it. Definitely last year, this was more stressful for me to do, but I want to share with you guys really how simple it can be to host a dinner party for a lot of people, in hopes that you feel inspired to host a dinner party as well, even if it's not a sewing related one. The first thing that you need to do whenever it comes to planning a party is obviously pick a date and a time, and then try and get a rough idea of how many people are going to be there. Obviously, people cancel last minute, people RSVP last minute and say they're gonna come. Get a rough idea, honestly, based on who you are inviting, how many people you're inviting, will give you a rough idea on how many people are going to be there. And then you need to make a meal plan. The reason why you want to have a rough idea of how many people are going to be there before you make the meal plan is that that does kind of dictate what you can make. For our annual 4th of July party, we know we're going to have like 60 to 70 people, so I am not going to attempt to make something fancy for that event. We just do burgers. For this event, I can do something a little bit fancier. The budget's a little bit higher because Frocktails is so important to me and my nieces. For a casual dinner party where only like 6 people are coming, you can really put a lot more effort into the food. You don't have to do easy meals, maybe even a little more expensive, fancier meals. It really depends on how many people are going to be there. I personally find the meal plan to be the hardest part. I think I get a little bit of decision fatigue when it comes to choosing what to make. And then once I have the choice made, the actual doing of the work feels easy to me. That might not be the case for you. But with this party, I decided that I wanted the meal plan to be all about summer grazing. I didn't want it to be this formal sit down dinner party. I wanted people to be able to kind of graze however they wanted. So I made a quick list of really fun summer grazing foods in my notes app in my phone. And on that list, I had charcuterie boards. A side note about charcuterie boards is that I wouldn't normally do them because they're not very budget friendly. Like I said, this is a party that we put a significant amount of time and honestly resources into more than other dinner parties because it's so important to us. I also wanted to do uni pizzas, bruschetta. I found a recipe for this hot honey ricotta dip and watermelon salad. And then I wanted there to be a summer salad as well. I figured that that would give people plenty of snacking options, plenty of protein options, and they would have the feel of it being a real meal, not just grazing with the pizzas if they wanted that. I also did a mocktail as well. I find that a fun drink is an easy and cheap way to make everyone's experience feel very elevated. That was a lot of words to tell you about this party, but the overall simple message of hosting a dinner party is that really all you have to do is pick a date, get a rough idea of people, and make a meal plan. There are always ways to add in fun decor and do fun themes, and I'm going to show that next, the decorations for this party. But really, when it comes down to hosting people in your home, it's probably not as complex as you might think. I got everything that I could get done in the kitchen done, and then I went out into the garden and picked flowers that same day. This is something that can be done the day before a party, and then later that evening I put on my comfy clothes, my slippers, had a spindrift, and had a wonderful time arranging all of these flowers into vases so that that job was done the day before the party as well. You found it? That's really good, sweetie.
Puppy!
You see a puppy? It is the day of the party, which is really exciting. I did in fact leave my instant yeast pizza dough on the counter for no less than 12 hours last night.
So I did forget about it. I had to remake it this morning. So I'm going to divide that now. Probably get those par baking. Earlier this morning, I sorted out my day into things that could get done hours ahead of time for the party and just a couple hours ahead of time for the party. And so I'm just kind of like working through that list. It's 11 now, the party's at 5, and I decided that I'm gonna start food prep at 2. So right now the plan is to do this because this can be done way in advance. Gather decor, clean off the tables, and kind of just get some stuff done that can be done farther in advance. Pizza dough. What? What?
I did that. Cone. I'm gonna tell her. Oh.
Oh, excuse me. Hey Siri. Set a timer for 4 minutes.
You've probably caught on that my approach to getting things done before a party and getting all of the things wrapped up is to make a list of all the tasks that need to get completed and then sort that list by which days and which times those items can get done. So I like to get things done as soon as they can get done, and I leave the tasks that can't get done early until the very last minute. And then the hope is that everything that could have been done is done by that time.
It is almost time to start food prep. I have a friend coming over. She'll be here in about 20 minutes. And then we are going to start getting a fun dip made, charcuterie boards assembled, pizzas assembled, just getting all the food ready for the party.
While me and my friend do all the last minute food prep for the party, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about decor. I think that is the part that can be overwhelming because it feels very expensive. And so I just want to tell you guys the approach that I have taken, and that is less about having a theme and more about collecting reusable decor elements that can be used for all of your dinner parties. So one big way to do this is by thrifting beautiful tablecloths. I used 4 tablecloths for this event, and all of them were picked up at a thrift store or on Marketplace for just a few bucks. So that is a very cheap and sustainable way to make a very beautiful tablescape. This is something that I consistently look for at the thrift store. Other things that I do are shop my home. So I will go around and grab candles and candlesticks. I grab my table runner off my table for this party. And I let the food be a decoration. Whenever you have beautiful food like pizzas or charcuterie boards, you can just set them out on a simple tablecloth and that table will be set. If it is garden season, add a little arrangement to that table. Or if it's not garden season, you can add a beautiful candle, a candlestick arrangement. let the food be a significant part of the decor. Lastly, for this event, I did use paper napkins and paper plates. I find that the Aldi paper plates are very cheap and very cute, and then the napkins were picked up from the clearance section at Home Goods. So all in all, the decor was very, very minimal in cost, but I feel like the party turned out just darling, and so did my guests. I literally never regret welcoming people into our home and hosting a dinner party. I hope that this video inspires you to do that as well. And I find that you probably won't regret it either. Setting up a beautiful, welcoming space for people is so much fun for me, and I hope it's fun for them too. And I hope it was fun for you to watch and join me as I hosted this year's annual Frocktails party. I hope you guys go on to have a lovely week, and I'll see you guys here next time on Our Sweet Sunny Days. Thanks so much for watching.